Hey, what's going on, beautiful Jellyfish? It's Tracy.
And Paul.
And we're going to be doing our, what is this set called? Baldur's Gate Commander Legends?
Yes.
I have, no idea what's going on. I feel like we just did another video on the most recent set. I don't know. It feels like it was really close before. Maybe it was in, March.
Probably not. It's been at least a month.
At least a month, yeah, for sure. It feels like that was very, not a long time ago. But we're going to be talking about cards that we're excited about for... We're going to be talking about cards we're excited for.
Read the screen. It was right in the center of my view.
I don't worry about it getting in the way. Cards we're excited for from the new set. Overall thoughts about Commander Legends?
A lot of dice rolling. Some kind of more, I don't want to say silly mechanics, but more... certainly more tailored for arena. More of the adventuring into dungeons. There's a lot more things that you have to keep track of, I feel like. Because there's the new sets of gates, there's the initiative mechanics, so they're adding a lot more things that you have to keep track of. And those are going to become more and more complicated as, you add the thousands of other cards and things from the rest of sets and stuff.
That's a good point.
For limited, it probably wouldn't be a problem, and certainly not in arena because it keeps track of everything for you, which is great. But in Commander, when you're doing with 4 people and you have who has initiative, who has what, it can get very complicated.
That's fair. I think my thing that I am confused about with this is I feel like the first Commander Legends was very much like printing staples, and I feel like this is trying to do its own thing, which I don't think is a bad thing. I don't think, I think new cards are exciting, but I think why I loved Commander Legends so much as a first set was because it was so much reprints, and I'm kind of disappointed that there are not as many things that
are reprinted here.
Are reprinted. So maybe it's just we're gearing up for Double Masters 2, and that's going to be really it's going to be reprints. Obviously, maybe there's just going to be even more exciting things, but I was a little bit disappointed. I'm going to be talking about 2 reprints, I think, too, that I'm excited for. But, Paul has more cards than I do, which I don't. I feel like we're normally actually pretty even with cards.
Normally we're within 1 or 2 of each other.
Yeah, I think Paul has 3 more cards than I do, which is, maybe that does not that much when you say it like that. Paul, get us started.
So the first card that we have here is Tasha, the Witch Queen. This is good one I want for my Sin Triplet deck. So it's whenever you cast a spell you don't own, you make a 3/3 black demon creature, which is probably going to what I do a lot in Sin Triplets anyways. So, and then it's +1 is you draw a card, always good. And then for each opponent, exile up to 1 target instant sorcery card from their graveyard, and then put a page counter on. And then for -3, you get to cast one of them without paying its mana cost. So this is kind of like Ashiok, but I would almost say a little better than Ashiok.
It's just different.
Yeah.
It's cool also, too, you get the 3/3s, which I think in that deck you have less creatures. You're relying on other people for creatures. The fact that she makes creatures.
Well, the other thing, so Ashiok's plus is you exile the top 3 creatures from 1 player.
Yeah.
This is... But that one hits creatures, where this one only hits instants and sorceries, but you hit every player 1 card, and then it's not -X for the card's cost, you just pay 3 and you get it. She does only come in at 4, so you have to uptick twice before you can... for each time you kind of want to do anything, so...
For sure.
But, solid card. 5 mana is not too much. I think it's...
She's cool.
Fun.
I like her flavor, too. I feel like we don't have a lot of witches in Magic, which is, odd. I don't know, it's a weird thing. Okay, the first card I'm really excited about is Battle Angels of Tyr, and it was funny because when we were going through the cards to pick out for this video, I totally forgot that this card was spoiled, because I remember when I first saw it, I was like, I'm really excited about this card, and then I forgot about it. So one thing that I think is really awesome is how Angel's Curve has come way down, because I was in the earlier days of Magic years ago, where there weren't the lowest mana cost Angel was 7 mana, and so it's been really awesome to see a lot of these angels that are smaller in mana cost wise, which is really awesome. So 4 mana 4/4 with flying and myriad. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, draw a card if they have more cards in your hand than each other player, then create a treasure token if the player creates more lands, then you gain 3 life if they have more life than each other player. It's a very cool, it does a lot of different things for only 4 mana. And I understand that it might not hit all the time.
You get the free tokens to hit everyone, so, you don't have to make the tokens. Myriad's a May ability. So if you got 2 people that don't have anything that can block flying, hey, you get potentially 2 of those triggers.
Yeah. And I like it too because sometimes in Commander, you don't just want to go all out on one person. Sometimes you're like, no, I just want to, do little bits of damage in other places. And I feel like this card does that, which I really like. Yeah. Really cool. I'm really excited about this card. It was so funny because we were just talking about, I don't remember what card. Oh, there's an angel that I actually wanted to take out of my angel deck and replace it with something else that we were just talking about last night. And then I was like, oh, but I needed to wait until it's another angel that comes out that I want to put in. And this is going to be replaced. And I'm so excited to pick this up. Paul, this card's so cool.
This is another broken treasure card
from
card. Wizards. They really need to lay off the treasures. But Ancient Copper Dragon, I think the only good one in this series. But it's 6 mana, 6/5 flying. Whenever it deals combat damage, you play a roll a d20. You make that many treasure tokens. I mean, you can roll a 1, which would not be great. But anything more than like a 3 is just good. And so more often than not, you're going to be getting quite a lot of treasure tokens.
This is so cool. What a fun card.
It's so overpowered. I know it's 6 mana, but it's a 6/5 flyer, which is already good, and then you get free mana from it.
So, Paul's going to be talking, and I think we should have given this a little bit at the beginning, but it's totally fine. But Paul has, which you guys actually haven't seen the deck because I haven't edited it yet, but you guys will be seeing upcoming. Paul built a treasure deck, which I've been literally talking about for like the last 2 months. It's been filmed.
Wait,
I just need to edit it. No, they haven't seen the treasure deck. But it's been
tweaked so much.
It has been tweaked a lot, so we're going to post it.
And then I have the
be a lot
5
of
color
cards,
treasure deck too,
which you guys don't know anything about. It
well,
is
that one's
wild.
not really treasure. That's just 5 color. Academy Manufacturer,
which is the most wild magic card. But anyways, so this card is so silly. It's going to go in both of your things, I'm assuming.
Maybe both, maybe just one of them. Certainly the
just
treasure. That card's
fun.
great.
I love it. That's so silly. Okay. One of the cards that I was talking about that I'm really excited to get to reprint is Kindred Discovery. So Kindred Discovery has only been printed, I believe this is the 3rd time. And in the other times, again, in the past, it's been printed in those commander sets, but we haven't had an opportunity in foil. I actually don't love this art as much as I love the other art, which is a little bit disappointing, but maybe that's an unpopular opinion. But I'm really excited to see this card getting a reprint because I have one in... What deck do I have this in? Do I have this in Merfolk?
You have it in Merfolk because this is the Merfolk Kindred Discovery art. I have one in Pirates with the same art.
Which is really good. This is a great card. Are you excited about this card being reprinted as well? Because you only have the one. Do you need it in anything else?
I could put it in Elementals.
Yeah, it's kind of like a good card. I feel like my only thing with that is I think it depends on the colors where you could put this because I think there's other things that you could run in place of it because it is 5 mana. Yeah. I mean, it's a very good card. If you're like putting a ton of those types of creatures on the field, yeah, absolutely run it.
Yeah, the only one I have it is in Pirates, which makes sense.
It's a great card. It's a really good card. And Paul.
Sculpted Sunburst, 5 mana board wipe. Basically, you can pick one of your small creatures you want to stay, and then blow up everything else, or everyone can pick one creature basically. They want and get rid of everything else, and they're exiled, so. That gets around indestructible and all of that. So
I think my thought process behind this card is that you get to choose one creature you control and then everything else goes away.
And then each opponent can choose up to one if it has equal or lesser power.
So I think that's why I am not a huge fan of this card because I don't like that I get to pick one. Whereas, what's that card that you get to bounce something back to your hand and then you destroy all of the creatures? Is that Time Walk? Time Wipe?
Time Wipe, yes.
Time Wipe. I personally prefer that a little bit better. I think there are better board wipes, in my personal opinion. I like Tragic Arrogance over, I think this, maybe, perhaps. I don't know.
I would say this is slightly better than Tragic Arrogance because you can limit...
type, isn't it?
It's one of each type, and you can limit it to power. So if somebody's only got things 4 or more... with more than 4 power, you can pick a 3 power creature that you have. You keep that, which is probably more valuable anyways.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And then still get rid of everything else.
But it is exile as well, so if you're not doing recursion, I guess that's fine. I don't know. It's not my favorite personal board wipe, but
that's fine. I like White has a lot of board wipes, and seeing new variations of it is always not just destroy all non-land permanents kind of thing. Fair. Destroy all creatures.
Okay. So as soon as I saw this card, I was immediately I need this card. I need this card because it's ridiculous, and that is... How would you say that? Viconia?
Sure.
Okay, so when I saw this card, I lost my mind because it's 3 mana 2/3. At the beginning of your Keep. If there are four or more creature cards in your graveyard, return a creature card at random from your graveyard to your hand. This is incredibly good recursion. Like, incredibly good recursion. My only gripe with this card is I wish it was a zombie.
Yeah,
I would love to put it in zombies.
Random, which can...
It is random, but I put this in Tasker, no questions. And there's been, I have to say, out of most recent sets, there has not been a lot of cards recently that have come out that I'm like, that needs to go in Tasker, because I'm so happy with the deck. I've had it for so long. This needs to go in there. And so if you can't choose the background unless there's a card that you, what is it that you have says that you can have another commander or whatever?
So anything card that says
weird.
Choose a background lets you have a background as a second commander. So this can have any of the backgrounds as a secondary commander.
Got it, but I couldn't run this as a second commander to Tasker.
Well, this isn't a background. This is a...
Choose a background. Got it. Okay, but that's fine. I want to put it in a Tasker anyway, and this card is really good. I love it. Paul.
Blood Money. Destroy all creatures, and for each non-token, get a treasure. It's a tap treasure, but who really cares? That's a lot of treasures.
It's like so weird that they're tapped.
Yeah,
I guess it's
it is 7 mana, but if you're board wiping and you get a lot of mana for next turn, you don't really care as much.
That's true.
But yeah.
It is kind of a lot, but you get a lot of mana back, so I don't think it's...
Yeah, it's usually going to pay you back more than what you paid for it.
There you go.
If you're going to board wipe.
I like it. I like it a lot. Paul, you're up again.
Ingenious Aerialist? Or Artillerist. This is just whenever one or more artifacts enter the battlefield, it deals that much damage to each opponent. So if you make a ton of treasures, you do a ton of damage to everyone. And it's not just treasures, it's any artifact. So this is probably not going to go in the treasure deck, but the Academy, 5-color Academy deck.
Yeah.
Because you're going to make a lot of every artifact, so it's going to do a lot more damage all at once. Basically, every time an artifact would come in, I'd get a free lightning bolt, essentially, just with one Academy manufacturer. So.
And then with Academy manufacturer, it's just you get tokens, then which gets more tokens, which gets more tokens, and so you just acquire a lot of tokens. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. So I was going through cards and Paul's like, why didn't you talk about this card? And I was like, oh, I forgot about it. Slaughter the Strong. So it's 3 mana. Each player chooses any number of creatures they control with at least power 4 or greater, 4 or less, then sacks all other creatures they control. I'm thinking this in Tasha.
Well, no, it's with total power 4 or less. So you can pick 4 1/1s, 2 2/2s, or
exactly.
Yeah.
R1 with 4 mana, yeah. And it's sacrifice, which is really cool. So this would not be bad in Alila either, but I think I'm going to put this in Tasha because it's really good too if I, let's just say I don't have Tasha, but I have a couple of tokens, and then I'm like, okay, cool. But it's also really nice too because even if in Tasha as well, if let's just say I have like a couple of 1/1s that are like not flyers, but then when those die, I get something, it kind of works.
It's also only 3 mana, which
I know.
is, I think, one of the lowest mana board wipes.
Which is so good. And I feel like there's not really downside. Like there's that board wipe that's, I'm thinking of, it's black, and I think it's 3 mana, and it's like something like you destroy all creatures, but then like it doesn't untap, your lands don't untap during your next main phase, or your next whatever. And like that to me is a huge downside. I don't think there's a downside to this. And it's sacrifice, so it gets around things like indestructible or whatever. I feel like board white is coming out with a lot of more,
that's not just destroy.
Yeah, it's not just destroy, and I think overall white, I feel like, is expanding in like the draw and all that sort of stuff, which is really
white.
Nice. Like,
I think is getting the most power out of all the colors.
I think it's getting there. I still think
with
green
red
is the best
being
commander color.
Probably the weakest in terms of removal, but it's getting much better in terms of acceleration with
interesting.
treasures, because red is getting more treasure than anything.
Dockside's a really great example of that as well.
With almost no downside too, which is even more wild.
It's very true. Did you just say wild?
Yes.
I say that, and then Paul started to say that was so funny. Okay, I'm so excited you're talking about this card because this card's hilarious.
Vexing Puzzlebox reminds me of Teferi's Puzzlebox, not because of what it does, but just by the name.
Yeah, just by the name. Yeah.
But 3 mana artifact. Whenever you roll one of our dice, put a number of charge counters in Vexing Puzzlebox equals the result. So if you're doing a lot of dice rolling, that's great. Otherwise, tap and a mana of any color, roll a d20, and then remove 100 counters, search your library for an artifact card, and put it on the battlefield and shuffle. I might put this in Karn, is kind of what I was thinking.
I don't know if this card is good. I don't know if it's good, Karn, but it's funny.
I don't think it's good in Karn, but if you're going to do a deck that involves a lot of d20s, you're going to get a lot of counters on this, which is going to let you get a lot of artifacts out. So in that kind of deck, it may be better. I don't know if this will go in Karn, but that was my thinking potentially. Just because it's basically a free artifact tutor.
It is. I don't think... I feel like 100 is just so much, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's potentially... Yeah. If you get a 10 on average, it's 10 times you have to tap it. But
That's a lot. Like, think about this in a commander game. You slam this down on, like, turn 10, and then you average roll a 10. And then it's, like, on turn... Okay, that would be turn 13. You might be dead by turn 13.
Well, the other thing is, I have multiple ways of untapping artifacts, so I can do it multiple times in either a turn or on everyone else's turn.
This doesn't go in everything, just to be very clear, but it's a very silly card.
It's a silly card, and I want it to be used in something. Maybe I'll build a roll d20 deck and put it in there. I build silly things, so.
I love it. It's great. Paul, this card's so cool.
Jahira, Friend of the Forest. Tokens you can roll have tap, add green. This is going in 5-color Academy because all the food tokens, all the treasure tokens, all the clue tokens all have tap, add green, so I don't have to sack the treasures to make mana. They now just add green, and because most of that stuff is colorless, it doesn't care. So yeah, this is just a good card.
It's so good. I feel like elves just
You could even put this in, like, Omnath, that all your Omnath tokens would add green. Not that you need the mana anyways, but, you know, I'm just using that as an example.
You could put this in so many different things. You could run this as a commander. She's legendary.
Oh my god, I know.
Oh my god, she's so cool.
Yeah.
This is such a cool card. I think elves probably get, like, the most treatment out of, I feel like, any other tribe.
Oh,
in this game, for sure. Like, I think elves get, like, some of the best support. It's insane.
I mean, you can run CDH mono green elves.
Most people do that with blue.
Yeah, but my point is, though, like, how many other tribes do you have in CDH that's just a single creature tribe?
I don't know. I don't keep up with CDH, but I'll take your word for it. Another really exciting reprint, and one of my friends said this to me was like, are you hyped, is Nature's Lore. Nature's Lore, correct me if I'm wrong, has never been printed in foil before.
I don't believe so.
And that would be very exciting because this is one of those cards that I've been like, oh, this card's really good. I should put this in, like, Omnath and things, but I've never picked one up because, again, it's never come in foil. Now is the time. I'm probably going to need, like...
It's just a strictly better rampant growth.
Yeah, it's strictly better rampant growth, so I don't know... I'll probably just replace rampant growth with all these. And it doesn't enter the battlefield tapped.
That too.
Which is really good. And you don't have to get a basic, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So I'll probably replace rampant in all my decks that have that. So I'll probably be picking this up. This is at the common level, which would be really nice. And it's been printed so many times, but it's only been printed in foil this time, so it might be a little bit for the foil.
The foil is still going to be even at common, but
hopefully people will open up a lot, and then we can get some.
Cut the price down by probably 20% or so.
I'll probably get like 10.
Yeah.
At least. Okay. Paul.
Gilded Artisan. So this is one of the backgrounds. It's commander creatures you own have whenever this creature attacks a player, if no opponent has more life than that player, you create 2 treasure tokens. So I'm thinking of putting this in the red-black treasures. And I have quite a few ways of making creatures unblockable in that. So just make my commander the unblockable, swing it whoever has the most life, get 2 treasures, at least. Yeah, it's also only 2 mana, so it pays for itself in 1 attack.
It's true. If you're going to be doing a lot of attacking.
Yeah. This one's kind of iffy on that. It just kind of depends on how I want to... If I want to go more just generate tokens or want to be more aggressive generating tokens.
Yeah.
I'm also going to put the dragon in there, although he's on a commander creature, so that wouldn't work. But, yeah.
Cool. Last card I want to talk about are these. I don't know what these types of lands are called, but the, like... I think the Battlebond lands is what we've established these are called, but the enter the battlefield tapped unless you have 2 or more opponents.
I think this is the other half of that series.
No, these have been printed before.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, they've been printed before, which is great. I mean, it's like a great reprint. These lands are really cool. I really like them. My only gripe with these lands, and this is my gripe with a lot of lands, I don't like how it just says land and it doesn't have like the types on it, so you can't like get this, for example, with Nature's Lore. You couldn't get that. Good. You know.
It'd be strictly better than a shock land. For EDH.
That's true. But I want that.
You need some downside.
Can't we have what? No. No downside. Paul, last card you want to talk about?
Owlbear Cub. This is going to go in Karametra. So this is whenever it attacks a player who controls 8 or more lands, which in EDH is going to happen, I get to look at the top 8 cards in my library, then put a creature card from them on the battlefield tapped and attacking that player. And then put the rest of the cards at the bottom of the library.
This is adorable.
It's a 3/3 for 3.
Can we just talk
it's
about
cute.
it for a second?
And the full art, extend art is... Oh, I thought I had picked it up.
Oh, wait, hold on. No, I need to see what it looks like. Extended art, you said?
Yeah, it's the same thing, it just looks better.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I thought that there was different art on
No,
this.
it looks...
It's so cute. It's a
Um,
bird bear.
yeah. And this is just, I want to put this in Carametra. It also will lower curve.
Yeah.
Gets me lands, of course, because Carametra says, cast creatures get lands.
Mm-hmm. You get a creature. And it's tapped and attacking.
Yeah. I mean, the only downside is if I don't get any good creatures in the top 8, but if I don't get any good creatures in the top 8, that's very unusual.
I was going to say that probably would not happen. The only downside, too, would be is, like, let's just say you really needed a board wipe, and then you attacked, and then
you put the board right to the bottom, or I
That's the
needed
only
another
downside.
land, and then went to the bottom.
There you go. But then you get the creature, and then it enters, then you get the land from Carametra, and then you just shuffle
only
your...
the first... casting
your-
this would get me the land.
Oh,
the creature that I get
okay.
doesn't cast.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
I
never
just
mind. That doesn't
enters
work.
the battlefield tapped and attacking. But that would be cool. You get to cast without paying its mana cost. But
There you go.
no, that would be way too broken.
That's fair. Sorry, our cats are being psychopaths. Okay. Is that everything?
I think
From
that's
the set?
everything.
Cool. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. We're not going to be picking up box or anything.
Yeah, I don't think we'll pick it up. So there's not...
It's not worth it for us
There's
personally.
a dozen cards that we want?
Yeah, between us, it just doesn't. I mean, I need like a lot of Nature's Lore foils, but yeah,
But
it's
those
not
aren't gonna be that
quite
expensive
something-
either, so.
Yeah, so that's not quite something that we need to do. But yeah, I'd really like to know what cards you guys are excited for, and we'll make these on a little wish list that we each have a little wish list because you're very bad at keeping track of
I
cards you
am.
want. He's so bad.
And
at
also
it.
cards
And I'm
I've
so good
traded
at
for.
it. Oh yeah, so like Paul will be like, oh, I want this card. So he's looking like yesterday, literally at like an Acroma, and like the new Acroma, and then my friend Logan's like, it's Tracy has it right here. It's in her
I
trades.
totally forget what cards we
Why
have. We
are
have so
you-
many.
We have a lot of cards. We need to go through in bulk. A lot of like our bulk rares and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, we're getting off on a tangent. Let us know what cards you guys are excited for in this set, and if you guys are picking up any like boxes or anything like that, let us know, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.